Up next on our agenda is approval of the Senate Journal. The Senate Journal from the previous meeting and has been made available. Is there any correction to the journal? Hearing none, they pass as given. Up next on our agenda is going to be our IT department. Please join me in welcoming Chris and Robert with the IT department. They're going to be talking about a few changes going on within the university and that they continue to update us. Thank you. Give them a warm welcome.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Jeff Barrington. I'm the CISO for Texas Tech University. Thank you all for just having us out to speak with you this evening. We appreciate it very much. Just a couple of things. My colleagues and I are going to share some updates with you guys, and if you have questions, just please ask. Whenever that comes up. So, if you will hit the next slide, please. So the first one is about improving security at Texas Tech University, and a lot of that has to do with the annual cybersecurity training that we've got coming up. This will be mostly for student workers. It's a state mandate, and so we'll have it. It'll be due. We're pushing for the month of March. If you're affected by that, you will get an email. Basically, if you haven't taken it in the first 2 weeks of the month, then you and your supervisor will get an email reminder, a nudge, and then after that, if it goes beyond that towards the end of the month, then you and your supervisor and your area vice president will get that same nudge letting you know, hey, you might want to take this. And at the end of that time, if you still haven't completed training, then we'll lock your account out to where you can only get to the training until you've completed that. It's about a 30-minute, pretty interactive training. It's kind of a question and answer from the perspective of a hacker, right? So it kind of gives a little bit different perspective on it and that kind of thing. So I thought it was pretty interesting. So next slide, please. Perfect. So part of why this is important is you see in the middle there, in the month of January, we had over 37,000 phishing attempts at Texas Tech University. 113 people clicked through, this is a better average than it was in October when we first presented to you guys. So congratulations. People are learning, right? Getting better and better. Down the road, we're going to have a phishing simulator put into implemented, and you guys, we'll put some communications out about that. That's a kind of one of our projects for down the road. You can see education is the number 3 most targeted industry, right? So what we have is very valuable and important to the bad guys. Make no mistake, their number 1 thing that they're after is money. If they can take it away from you or me or Texas Tech, they don't care. They just want money. Almost 60% of organizations were hit last year by some type of ransomware or malware. Okay, next slide, please. Thank you. So this is just kind of what I just kind of walked through about the cybersecurity training. And then now go ahead and hit the next slide, please. So before this, I'll give you a couple of other updates, and then I'll introduce Chris to come up here and give the Net Promoter Score and the customer experience. Another thing that you guys will see some communications on is we're moving from Skype for Business to Teams as our unified communications platform. We're hoping to have that done in the month of April also. So just a lot of kind of changes and things like that coming up. Another thing that we're working on that will benefit everyone is we're working on a network upgrades, right? So a lot of our equipment is kind of aging, and we're getting ready to get that all upgraded. And at first it will be the network outlets, right? The switches that you plug into and that the Wi-Fi access points plug into, and that's kind of that's our first upgrade, and that's going to help us prepare for Wi-Fi upgrades that'll come in hopefully a year or two. So we've got a lot of things in the works, and we appreciate you guys' patience. If you guys notice, if you have problems with Wi-Fi, if you're in a classroom or something like that, if you can send an email or call into IT Help Central and kind of give a specific date, time, and location, and kind of what the trouble was. That helps us be able to better troubleshoot it. Sometimes we get, somebody will say, hey, the Wi-Fi in meeting communications building really wasn't very good the other day. Well, that's really hard for us to troubleshoot, right? We have monitors that, if we start using too much bandwidth or if equipment goes out, we can see those things, but sometimes there are other issues that come up that we can't see. So the more information that you guys can provide, the more it helps us out. So with that, I will introduce Chris Oglesby from IT Help Central. Thank you.
Thanks. Hi, my name is Chris Oglesby. I'm an Associate Managing Director at IT Help Central. So my area is the support center. So if you've called 742-HELP, that's the area that I'm over. Go ahead with the next slide. So last October, when we came and presented, we talked to you about about a survey we were developing called a Net Promoter Score. So we partnered with the Rawls College of Business to develop a Net Promoter Score, so that way we can provide transparency, accountability, and a baseline for what kind of services are we providing. A Net Promoter Score is a survey that can be done across any industry, and basically all it's saying, it's just basically one question, is would you recommend our services to a friend or colleague? And that's pretty much all it is we want to know how we're doing that. And so with that score, you can compare yourself to Chick-fil-A, you can compare yourself to Starbucks, you can compare yourself to a rental car dealership, because it's all about, did you have a great experience so much that you would promote us, or did you just have a mediocre experience and you're like, no, I'm not even going to talk about them because it wasn't anything special. Go ahead with the next slide, please. So the survey was sent out in November. It went out to all faculty, all staff, and students. We got 1,632 responses. The survey took around a minute for everyone to complete. Media and Communications helped us gather the data and analyze it, as well as a professor in the Rawls College of Business. We left the survey open for 3 weeks. We sent a few reminders out if you hadn't completed the survey, because we really, really want to know what y'all think about us and what the teaching community thinks about us. And the last question we had on that survey was open-ended. It was an open text field, basically asking, is there anything that we can do better? 64% of that 1,600 responded. So we had a little over 1,000 people tell us all kinds of information about their experiences. Good experiences, bad experiences. We liked hearing all of it. Go ahead with the next slide, please. So the data, we were able to separate the subgroups out between students, faculty, and staff on who responded. Overall, we had a response rate of about 2%. Media and Communications said that's a really good response rate for this type of survey, so we were pleased to get that back. Students was 1.7, but obviously when you're 40,000 plus, it's really hard to get that percentage really high. Y'all are the largest subgroup that we polled. Overall, our total Net Promoter Score was a 26, which turned out to be really pretty good. The score of a Net Promoter is a minus 100, all the way to a positive 100. So that's the scale of what a Net Promoter Score can be, and we got a 26. Go ahead with the next slide, please. So on the Net Promoter scale, above a 0 is good. Above a 20 is favorable, so we're in the favorable category. Above a 50 is excellent. Above 80 is world class. Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, they're usually in the 60s. So that kind of gives you an example of where they're at. We also got some data from Qualtrics, so you can kind of see some of the grocery stores. They promoted around a 30. Consumer payments, who has a great experience giving someone your money? So -6. Car rentals, 8. I guess there's not a lot of free upgrades happening, so people's score was not really, really favorable on that. But what we're able to do is take our 26 and compare it to other universities. We're able to compare it to other industries, so we can see a baseline. Go ahead with the next slide, please. So positive feedback that we got back, that we heard. We had, as I told you, we had over 1,000 lines of data we had to go through, and so we tried to kind of group those together on what are some common themes of what people's responses were. And the positive ones were friendliness, helpfulness of IT staff, fast resolution in some cases, appreciation for cybersecurity efforts, good departmental college level IT support, and interest in additional training and resources. The flip side, the positive is the negative. Well, we like to treat those as opportunities. And so next slide, please. So some of the common opportunities that we hear that we can work on is poor IT communication skills when changes are occurring. So we heard stuff about SSH Gateway. This is what a lot of researchers use. This was taken down very abruptly in September to help mitigate an incident that was occurring with the Health Science Center. We were unable to notify anyone of that, but we hear that. That's a fair comment. But there's other disruptions that happen that we want to do a better job of communicating with the TTU community of when changes occur. Lack of research computing support and persistent issues with certain services. Wi-Fi. Jeff spoke about the network upgrades that are occurring. Wi-Fi was a term that was used over 50 times in these comments. Some were positive, but a lot of them were not positive. And so we hear that. And this is something we want to focus on because we want you and the rest of the community to be successful at what you're doing, and we know that Wi-Fi is one of the many tools that you use to be successful. And slow response time. Customers express frustration over delays in addressing tickets and inconsistent service desk and departmental IT services. So this is something we want to take a dive into also. So where do we go from here? So next fall, we want to do another Net Promoter Score survey. So we developed a baseline this year. We're going to work hard in the next 10 months to try to improve on the comments that were made. And so we can try to provide better services. So next slide, please. So our plan, and Lynn, I don't know if you've heard this, but Scott developed it. So Lynn's our CIO. He's the one that charged us with the Net Promoter Score. So what our plan is the next 10 months is we want to really focus on better communication about IT change. So far we've already partnered with Marketing and Communications. They have a staff member that helps us review our messaging. We're centralizing that messaging to come from one spot instead of multiple spots, so there's like one voice that you can listen for. The other thing we're doing is we have a project management office that's helping lead the change to IT. And so what that does is it standardizes it. It helps us to make sure communications are put into place. And we're going to work on change management best practices so people are aware of what's happening. Lack of research computing support. This is something else from our researchers that we heard. We're going to be partnering with the Office of Research and Innovation to provide better services for them. Persistent issues with certain services like the network upgrade, like Wi-Fi. We're going to really take a deep dive into the calls that we get at the service desk to understand if we're getting Wi-Fi calls, why is that? And so that's why some of that, what Jeff spoke about, is it's important. If y'all are just tolerating a service just because you expect it to be bad, well, Wi-Fi is always bad, I'm just going to use my 5G network. We can't fix it. We don't know that there's a problem because we haven't got any reports of it. So we encourage you to let us know when there's issues so we can focus on that. Other common issues that we may get at the service desk, whether it be a password reset. How do we make that process easier? You get locked out of your account. How do you change your contact information? Things like that, we want to address those to find better processes so they're quicker and easier for you as the end user to complete. And then slow response times. This is something that we're going to work and we're going to look at a holistic approach to see why are our response times slow. Is this something that we can make more efficient? Can we work better with the other IT departments with that communication to give them the tools that they need? Do we need to modify our service level agreements with our customers, with B&U or any of the community, so you know what to expect if you reach out to us and say, hey, I got this problem. You'll know it may take us 2 hours to fix it. It may take us a couple of days because of the amount of time and work and the teams of people who have to be, they have to work together to resolve that. And then the last thing is we're going to redefine our IT mission, vision, goals, and our organizational structure. So that's our plan for the next 10 months to try to give you all better service. Anybody have any questions about the Net Promoter Survey? All right. I want to introduce Rob Ward. He's going to do the remaining.
as he said, my name's Rob Ward. I'm the Senior Director for Technology Support Services. So your software and your computer labs, I'm the one that's in charge of that. I'm also a staff senator, so I want to say I really respected the way y'all started your meeting. I love that. I think I'm going to take some of that back to my Senate. So thank you for that. A couple things I'm going to touch upon here that can affect the students and how they work and do their studies is we have remote desktop that's available. A lot of students do not know that. So if you are off campus and you need the ability to get some software that you can find in any of our labs, we have the ability to help you. So if you're a distance learning student off campus, anywhere, out of state, wherever it may be, we can help you get access to that. So if you need that type of information, you can either reach out to me, my department, or you can go through Help Central, 742-HELP. High performance precision workstations. This is something new that we've added to the ATLC, the basement of the library. Not sure if you're aware, there is another level down below that main level, below the main floor. We're 2 levels down, and it's a very quiet, beautiful, amazing workspace for you to study. And we put in 5 new high precision workspaces. So if you have computer needs that needs a little more computing power, those stations are brand new and ready for you. Lab reservations, we also have rooms that we have available. So we have 5 classroom type settings there that if y'all find a need for your classes or for study groups or what have you, reservations are available for you to have a dedicated quiet space. So please feel free to take advantage of that. If you could do the next slide for me. Okay, some of the software that we have available, this one I want to kind of touch on specifically is Udemy. Just by a quick show of hands, how many of you have heard of Udemy? Okay, it's a small group. Let me tell you what it is. Everyone in this room, every staff member, faculty member, and student has access to this. If you will go to cbt.ttu.edu, there is over 19,000 different courses that you can work your way through to help you become more proficient in something. For example, let's say you're taking a statistics class and you've got to figure out pivot tables in Excel and you have 0 clue what a cell is in Excel. This can walk you through how to create pivot tables. If you want to learn something more professional, organizational type skills, those are there. And if you need something personal, and I'll give you an example of something personal, I want to learn to speak Spanish. I cannot roll my R's. My Spanish teacher in middle school said, "You're out of here, take a different language." I took Latin. Hadn't been real helpful in my career, but I've been doing Spanish on Udemy. And I just recently got back from Puerto Rico. I spoke very good to them. I didn't understand a word they said, so I'm still going to work a little longer. So, next slide, please. We also offer some short courses. So if self-taught is not your thing, you would like someone that has some skill in that subject matter to help you, we do have some courses that you can either take online, virtually, or you can do it in person. Or if there is a particular skill that the Student Senate would like to have taught as a group, we will come to you and teach these classes. And these are some examples of how to get those classes. Again, it's Word, Excel, Teams, basic things, Power BI, which is really growing large across campus and in many classes. Then some more basic ones, PowerPoint. But we're also going to be bringing on SPSS, SAS, and some more higher statistical packages. So next slide, please. So there are some events that are going to be coming up. Typically, students don't get invited to this, and I think that's kind of could be a mistake. There's a lot of things that are happening. So you may see some of this come through our tech announce. There's 3 events that are still coming up. One in March with Udemy. One, the Sonic Foundry one that's in April, that's your media site. So if you have a class where the professors capture the lecture and you have to go look at it later, if it's recorded, this is going to be helping the professors. And then InfoReady. InfoReady, some of you may be familiar with because that's how you can apply for certain scholarships or other competitions on campus. It uses InfoReady. So those particular events are going to be coming up this spring. Next fall, they'll be more geared towards some of our higher end ones like Microsoft, Apple, Dell, and they'll be presented. So be on the lookout in your tech announce. I think that's the end of mine. Other than that, the other thing I did want to mention is in the month of January, one of your Senate resolutions came across my desk. A printer change. There was a request to move a printer to the brand new ASB building. So I wanted to let you know, as of today, a location has been selected. So your Senate bill was approved, action has been taking place, and before the end of this month, that printer will be in that location. Was there any questions about what I presented? Probably not. Awesome. Thank you for your time.
One more warm welcome. Thank you all. We appreciate the accountability and the constant updates that y'all give us. Again, one more hand for them.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
And see you.
Up next on our agenda is going to be open forum. Rule 33, Section 2 of the Student Senate states that any student enrolled in Texas Tech University may address the Senate during open forum on any given issue. If you wish to address the Senate, please stand for recognition from the chair. Once, twice. Oh, yes. Our interim GVP, Michael Starnes. You may approach the podium.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Starnes. I am a master's student here in the Department of Animal and Food Science, studying food safety. I graduated in 2022 from Texas A&M. Reagan up here. Trust Reagan to be in my ear about that. I've spent I've spent 2 stints in Washington, D.C. Interning. Once was with the lobbying group National Farmers Union. There I lobbied on behalf of small operation farmers and ranchers. And then I was back there again this past summer at the USDA's main agricultural research labs there in Beltsville, Maryland, studying listeria growth. I was very fortunate enough to be named one of the future leaders in agriculture for the USDA, something that they give to 5 students every year. So I feel really blessed in that regard. I currently work with the graduate school currently as a graduate ambassador. So within this role, there's about 5 or 6 of us that meet with Dean Sheridan about once a month. We have lunch with him, and we, conduct events that is outreach events for the graduate school. We meet with the students, we set up events, we, feed them. Feeding them is a really popular one, so that we kind of stick with that a lot. But we basically serve as liaisons between Dean Sheridan and the graduate student body. Our graduate base is a very important group of people. It's a very diverse group, a very eclectic group, and they are very important for funding and recognition to Texas Tech. The way I kind of view it is, the undergrads are really incredibly important for the culture of Texas Tech, stuff in the stands, being at the football games, throwing the tortillas, all that kind of stuff. But the graduate school really brings the funding dollars and somewhat of a national spotlight, specifically pertaining to our research. And so my work with the graduate school kind of led me to want to apply to this position. There's a lot of needs that need to be further worked on within the graduate school, just in my interaction with the students. And so hopefully if I get confirmed, I really want to start working on that and, kind of continue to improve the life of our graduate population. So thank you very much.
Any others? Up next will be our executive reports. Please welcome Student Body President Abigail Vega.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone has had a great week thus far. I just had a few updates, smaller updates, and then, of course, wanted to speak on behalf of Michael as well. So Joint Congress update, we are starting to work on those Joint Congress pieces that are specific subjects or initiatives that we spoke about during those meetings. And so if you are interested in writing a piece of legislation and would like to partner with my office specifically, please let me know, and I'd love to be able to inform you and, of course, do further research alongside you. Alongside this, SGA Big 12 on the Hill, our directors of governmental relations have been working very closely with our individuals who are back in DC trying to schedule those meetings for Big 12 on the Hill. So we're very excited to be able to do that within the upcoming weeks. SGA Executive Candidate Debate, it's looking a little bit differently, so I wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. We'll have further updates likely within the week or at least before the next Senate meeting, of course, when that will be held. So this will be directly after the next Senate meeting. So rather than having it on a Sunday like we did this last year, it'll be immediately following the Senate meeting. So once this is over, y'all can head over either to the sub or potentially having it in here as well. Public relations public relations and digital media updates. So we were able to, of course, we'll hopefully confirm that piece today, but they are already very passionate about being able to create content, things like that. I know that you may have seen Will out there today alongside partnering with our public relations committee within the Senate. So they all have great ideas, and I'm very excited to see a lot of their ideas come to fruition. Alongside that, wanted to give, of course, some graduate vice president updates. We were able to review 33 different applications and a lot of different competitive applicants, and so we're able to solidify that with 8 specific interviews, and then of course had to select one specifically, which was Michael. So just speaking on him, I would like to express my full support for Michael Starnes as our next graduate vice president. Over the past week, I've had the opportunity to get to know Michael, and I can confidently say that he embodies the leadership, dedication, and vision that our graduate students need. His experience in his undergrad, such as leadership roles, advocacy efforts, and campus involvement has prepared him to be a strong voice for graduate students, ensuring their concerns are heard and addressed. He has demonstrated a clear commitment to student success and engagement, values that are essential for this role. We need a graduate vice president who is not only capable of advocating for students' needs, but also willing to collaborate, listen, and take action, all of which he has shown throughout the last week. I truly believe that Michael is the right person for the job, and I encourage you all to vote in favor of his appointment. I look forward to seeing the great things that we can accomplish with Michael as a part of our leadership team. Thank you so much.
Up next, welcome Carter Arrett, our external vice president.
Hey everybody, glad I can be back today. First I'm going to talk about Michael. I'll kind of switch the order here. So I've got to say, we all met Michael whenever that selection was made, and we were in the office, had the opportunity to show him around, introduce him to some different folks, and then from there we decided to book a lunch meeting. And it was kind of Abby's idea, get to know him a little bit more personally. He was like, well, what if we go to, it started as Moto Medi and then went to Havos because he was so passionate about plugging our grad students into a food or a dish that's very unique to their culture. And it was just super cool to see his desire to serve grad students from, just an introductory meeting. And so we went to Havos, 10 out of 10, recommend it. It's in Wolfforth. Great cuisine, but it was super cool to see his desire there. And he has been by far so intentional, engaging and interactive, and it's been a great light to have in the office, and I cannot recommend him more. We've been working on a utility box initiative again. As soon as we got in, had a meeting with Kerry scheduled on his own. He's been meeting with Dean Sheridan, and I think it's really telling of his character and how he holds himself to be able to set these meetings up and be proactive in those efforts. And so he's so plugged into the grad school, I cannot recommend it enough. But we're going to kind of switch gears here. I know a lot of people need some outreach points, need some service points, and we have a lot of them. We have a lot. So take a kid to the game. That's going to be March 1st, and it's a women's basketball game against Colorado. It tips at 2 o'clock. We're going to meet at the rec center at 12:30. From there, be handing out pizza, shirts, some merchandise, and it's a great event to get groups of about 30 kids with the sponsor to a basketball game for maybe their first ever game or sporting event at Texas Tech. And so that's something that's been a really cool SGA project that we're going to keep going, and I will have the QR code for that. Again, it's on March 1st on the next slide. TLC Day, second annual, is going to be April 5th, or I'm bringing it back, and then those details will be determined soon, kind of in the works with that. That's going to be a service opportunity. And so if you don't know, TLC Day is going back and really diving into the community of Lubbock. It's a big day of outreach and service. So we'll have about 7 different events with City Bus kind of going and guiding all of you through that. And then Safety Week is going to be March 10th through the 14th. Super excited for this. It's right before spring break time. And we have a packed calendar of about 3 events every day. And there are 36 outreach opportunities on that. Plenty of interactive events. I'm about to send an email that'll have the schedule of events as well as 2 sign-up geniuses for that. And if you'll go to the next slide, please. There are some QR codes on there for those. Made them kind of fancy too. Proud of those. But saying of the week, we're back. Diego, you did a great job last week. I'm surprised you didn't open it a little early.
I was so excited.
I know he was on cloud nine whenever we had that, but it came from Penny Pennington. We had an opportunity through the Personal Financial Planning School to have a C-suite executive at Edward Jones come and talk to not only our school but other individuals and roles. And her saying of the week was, "Make yourself busy so you do not become lazy." And I think that is so in touch with all the opportunities that are out there for you to get involved within your upcoming campaign season, upcoming semester, getting in touch with what you want to do as you kind of transition into the summertime, into these new roles, service opportunities. Take that time to figure out who you are and make yourself busy in things that you enjoy with people you enjoy, and the fruits of that will become they will be great. So super excited for all of you today to have your pieces read, and I'll send that email out.
Up next on our agenda will be our judicial reports. Being as there are none, we will move along to my remarks. I really just have two main things today. So the first is on our interim GVP, Michael Starnes. He is a absolute wizard in the office. I don't know how else to put it. So in speaking in excitement for him, I'm super excited to have him on the team. It's very nice to have my office occupied. It was very, to really bank off of what Carter was saying, we were going to go to Mediterranean, and me and Gunn showed up completely alone, thanks to the executives. But Michael was more than welcoming and letting me back and expressing how silly I was for going there. Anyways, but moving on, Michael has my full support. I absolutely love the guy. He's incredible, and he's an incredibly efficient worker. And then next on my points is really just moving forward with points. Don't be in a state of hypnosis regarding like going for your points. Have a plan to get to your points and really move forward. And if you need help crafting a plan to get there, talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, we have office hours, we can get that going, and we can get you a strategy to really get you your points. But again, I remind you, don't be in hypnosis. Don't wait for them to come to you. Again, points are intentional, and most of y'all learned last semester it pays to be diligent in this chamber. So really just look forward to that. And if you need any help, please reach out to me and let me know. That's pretty much all for it on my end. Up next on our agenda is routine motions and other business. Senator Farag.
Mr. President, I rise to propose incorporating Senate Resolution 60.XX, stating the sentiments of the Student Senate regarding the death of Texas Tech University student John Wesley Woodward, and to the end of the consent calendar, making this Senate Resolution 60.125.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Baker to add Senate Resolution 60.125 to the end of the consent calendar and have it be known as Senate Resolution 60.125. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a supermajority of 80% to be added into our agenda. All those in favor of adding 60.125 to the agenda, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. 60.125 will be added to the end of the consent calendar. Senator Griffin.
Thank you, Mr. President. In order to ensure the success of our initiatives with the U.S. Healthcare Education Bill, it is imperative that we involve more stakeholders who can provide valuable input and assist in implementing necessary changes. Next week, we plan to meet with auxiliary services to negotiate further on behalf of our international students, aiming to find common ground and the best practices to support their healthcare education needs. So with this in mind, and to allow time for these crucial discussions, I move to postpone Senate Resolution 60.110 to our next Senate meeting on February 27, 2025.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Koger to send Senate Resolution 60.110 to second reading of our Senate meeting on February 27, 2025. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Senate Resolution 60.110 will be moved to the agenda in second reading at our next Senate meeting. Senator Haney.
Mr. President, I move to suspend the standing rules of the Senate requiring all pieces to be moved to second reading and sent to all committees.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Almoso to suspend the standing rules of the Senate regarding all pieces to be sent to second reading. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor of suspending the standing rules of the Senate, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. The rules will be suspended. Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise to lay on the table Senate Resolution 60.116, subject to call to March 13, 2025.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Joyce to postpone Senate Resolution 60.116 until two Senate meetings on March 13th, 2025. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Senate Resolution 60.116 will be moved to first reading on the 12th meeting of the 60th session. Any other routine motions and other business? Once. Twice. Moving on. Up next on our agenda is our committee reports. Academic Committee.
Mr. President,
Senator Joyce.
I move to suspend the standing rules the Senate requiring us to read committee reports.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Almosta to suspend the standing rules of the Senate requiring the reading of all committee reports. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Committee reports will be skipped. Up next on our agenda will be first reading. Senate Bill 60.04. Senator Haney.
Mr. President, I rise to introduce Senate Bill 60.04, a bill to be entitled Amendment to Establish the Duties of the Chief of Staff.
You may approach the podium.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great evening. Currently, as the Constitution reads, there is not the roles of the Chief of Staff currently defined. So just to ensure transparency within our Constitution, the Ethics Committee kind of got together and devised this amendment to formally outline the duties of the Chief of Staff. These duties are the duties that the Chief of Staff currently and formally has fulfilled. And in addition to that, an amendment currently is being prepared to kind of just further outline and provide more clarity. You can see the amendment reads from line 23 to line 35. If you do want to go and look at that, I'm not going to waste some more time and read those all out. But with that, Mr. President, I do move to place Senate Bill 60.04 on third reading and final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Joyce to place Senate Bill 60.04 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote, being that it is a bill. Is there any debate on the floor? Senator Gasway.
Mr. President, well-written piece. I offer up one amendment, and that would be adding in something at the bottom. It would make it .8. So it would read, at line 8, the duties outlined above shall not be considered exhaustive or limiting in nature. The Chief of Staff may be required to perform additional responsibilities as necessary to fulfill the administrative and legislative functions of SGA. Any further clarifications and modifications to the role shall be referenced in the respective year's rules of the Senate and adopted by the Student Senate. So with that, Mr. President, I move to amend Senate Bill 60.10.04 to read, inserting at line 36.8.
When if the amendment passes, make sure to send it in writing to the Journal Clerk. But it's been moved and seconded by Senator Stubblefield to amend Senate Resolution 60.04. This motion is debatable, amendable to one more degree, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor regarding the amendment? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote on the amendment. All those in favor of the amendment as given, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, amendment passes. Now to vote on the piece. Senate Bill 60.04 is debatable, amendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. Please use your clickers to vote in the poll. Is there any debate as well? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Senator Geiswhite, please get your amendment on file with the Journal Clerk whenever you're available. Thank you. With 30 senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda will be Senate Bill 60.05. Senator Minucci.
Mr. President, I introduce Senate Bill 60.05. May I please appreciate
Please state the name of the piece.
statements regarding the establishment of the duties of the Journal Clerk.
Thank you, Senator Minucci. You may approach the podium.
Okay, hi everyone. Concurring a little bit with the chief of staff piece, we also wanted to establish the duties of the journal clerk. They are mentioned in the Senate handbook, but they are nowhere to be found in the Constitution. And likewise, we are adding an amendment. There will be an amendment added to it to ensure that if there is any future changes needed to be made in the Senate handbook, it can be made. And you can read the duties. They're established in lines 22 through 31. I'm not going to take the time, but we just wanted to mention that these pieces do need to be passed today, so that way during March 4th elections they can be voted on, and they have that 2-week time period that they need to be published. And yeah, that's what the bill entitles.
Is there an amendment on the floor regarding 6005?
We have to put it on the.
I move to suspend the standing rules of the Senate. No?
They've already been suspended.
Move the piece of third reading, final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Villegas to send Senate Bill 60.05 to third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. Is there an amendment on the floor? Senator Clark.
Mr. President, I am in support of this piece. I believe that it is very important to add to our Constitution, and this is not previously stated, only in the rules, and because of that, I'm going to go in line with the last, and I move to amend Senate Bill 60.05 on line 33 to state, the duties outlined above should not be considered exhaustive or limiting in nature. The journal clerk may be required to perform additional responsibilities as necessary to fulfill the administrative and legislative functions of the Student Government Association. Any further clarification or modifications to the role shall be referenced in the respective year's rules of the Senate as adopted by the Student Senate, and something has been put on file with the journal clerk already.
Thank you, Senator Clark. It has been moved and seconded by Senator Coger to amend Senate Resolution 60.05. This motion is debatable, amendable to one more degree, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the amendment? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to vote. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, amendment passes. Now to pass the piece. Senate Bill 60.05 is debatable, amendable, and requires a 2/3 majority vote. Is there any debate regarding the bill? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to vote. Please use your clickers to vote in the poll. Senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda is Senate Resolution 60.114. Senator Villegas.
I rise to present Senate Resolution 60.114, stating the sentiments of the student senate regarding the confirmation of Mr. Michael Starnes as the graduate vice president. May I first?
Okay, thank you, Senator Villegas.
Good evening, everyone. Not much more I can say about Mr. Starnes. He's been in the office ever since like his appointment date, his interim appointment date. Great guy. I fully in favor of this. So with that, I move to place Senate Resolution 60.114 on third reading and final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Tippin to place Senate Resolution 60.114 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Please use your clicker to vote in the poll. Is there any debate? Please vote in the poll. (31) senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda will be Senate Resolution 60.115. Senator Armitage.
Mr. President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 60.115, stating the sentiments of the Student Senate regarding the durable medical equipment drive. May I proceed?
You may. Thank you, Senator Armitage.
Hey y'all, so this piece is basically just talking about how I'm organizing a donation drive in collaboration with Student Health Services. This piece just kind of outlines what it's all about and encourages everyone in like every department and all of y'all to advertise it. In case you didn't know, Student Health Services donates durable medical equipment to students in need. A lot of times the students might not have like the resources or their insurance might not cover it. And there's, other reasons, but, however, they could use some more. Another fun reason is that sometimes, they use them for graduations. So like if a student needs them temporarily for graduations, Student Health Services in collaboration with the, USA will like allow them to, have a wheelchair, whatever they need to cross the stage for graduation.
And for this drive, students will be able to donate crutches or even non-motorized wheelchairs that they no longer use at the Student Union Building and the Student Wellness Center. And it will either be at the end of February or beginning of March, still working on the details, but I will send out a flyer and I encourage y'all all to spread the word. And it is very important to have the Senate support behind this initiative. So, Mr. President, I move to place Senate Resolution 60.115 on second reading and sent to all committees.
It has been moved and seconded by Senator Bijou to send Senate Resolution 60.115 to second reading and sent to all committees. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please use your clicker to vote in the poll.
Sorry.
100% of senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda will be Senate Resolution 60.117.
Mr. President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 60.117, stating the sentiments of the state Senate regarding fostering partnerships between alumni and students, who have students within the college of sciences.
You may approach the podium.
Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. So I'm here to present Senate Resolution 60.117, which is a proposal that kind of seeks to create this partnership between alumni of the College of Arts and Sciences and students within the College of Arts and Sciences who are pre-health or on a pre-health pathway. So as some of us may know, clinical exposure is not only a requirement for most pre-health students, but it also helps with, it's a crucial step to truly understand their future careers and help them find their passion. However, many of our pre-health students do face a lot of challenges or difficulties in, finding professionals who are willing to provide them with shadowing opportunities. And so this resolution kind of addresses that challenge by encouraging the development of a structured program within the College of Arts and Sciences, and our vision is to connect students with the alumni working in healthcare fields who are willing to give back to the alma mater by offering shadowing and mentorship opportunities. So during our committee meeting on January 28th, Dean Tosha Duperre and Associate Dean Stephanie Borst expressed a lot of strong support for this initiative, and they also mentioned that they would be able to connect with the alumni who are in Lubbock or surrounding areas who are pre-health or are in healthcare, sorry. So this program would start as an in-house initiative focusing on the College of Arts and Sciences, but it does have the long-term potential to expand through partnerships with programs like Higher Red Raiders to other colleges as well. So it wouldn't just be pre-health, but also pre-law and any other pre-pathway discipline. So by investing in this initiative, we are not only helping our pre-health students build these experiences and skills that are essential for their careers, but also strengthening the bond between current students and alumni. With that being said, Mr. President, I move that Senate Resolution 60.117 is placed on second reading and sent to all committees.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Strike to send Senate Resolution 60.117 to second reading and sent to all committees. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please use your clicker to vote in the poll. (100% of senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda is Senate Resolution 60.118. Senator Farag.
Mr. President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 60.118, stating the sentiments of the student senate regarding the implementation of standard grading practices. May I approach the podium?
You may.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So this piece, just to give you a little backstory, currently professors are given the liberty to choose any grading scale that they want, whether that's flat, A, B, C, D, or using the plus and minus system. So this piece is basically in call to recommend to administration to implement a standardized grading scale so that your numerical grade is based off of your letter grade as well. And I just want to make it clear that this will not affect GPA. GPA will still remain solely based off your flat grade. So with that, Mr. President, I move to send Senate Resolution 60.118 to second reading and sent to all committees.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Davis to send Senate Resolution 60.118 to second reading and sent to all committees. This motion is undebatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. Please use your clicker to vote in the poll. 31 senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda, Senate Resolution 60.119. Senator Almosa.
Mr. President, I rise to introduce Senate Resolution 60.119, stating the sentiments of the Student Senate regarding the censure of 10 senators for failure to meet membership requirements, the additional obligations imposed by the Rules and Administration Committee. May I proceed?
You may. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to read this piece in its entirety, and it's regarding the censorship of 10 senators here. So Rule 7, Section 24 of the Rules of the Senate states that senators who do not meet the requirements each semester will subsequently be under membership review and subject to impeachment. And whereas membership requirements for the 60th session were established on May 14th, 2024 through Senate Resolution 60.01, which mandates that each senator must author 2 action legislation pieces, author 1 congratulatory legislation piece, present at least 1 piece of legislation before the Senate, attend at least 2 outreach events, meet with 1 student organization on behalf of SGA, complete at least 3 community service hours, and meet with the internal vice president, all within both the fall and spring semesters, respectively. And whereas 10 senators failed to complete 1 or 2 or more of these requirements during the fall 2024 semester, and they are as follows: Senator Sam Davis, Senator Emma Foster, Senator Cami Gutierrez, Senator Jocelyn Hernandez, Senator Nick Lamb, Senator, sorry if I butchered your name, Mignon Miller, Senator Vivian Monaco, Senator Matthew Ramirez, Senator Delaney Saunders, and then Senator Ivory Villegas. Whereas the Rules and Administration Committee reviewed the membership records and determined that these senators fell short of their obligations as elected representatives, and whereas rather than proceeding immediately to impeachment, the Rules and Administration Committee has recommended that these senators be formally censured and required to complete additional responsibilities to remain in good standing. Therefore, be it resolved that the following 10 senators are formally censured for failure to meet membership requirements as established by Senate Resolution 60.01, and be it further resolved that the censured senators must complete 1 additional outreach event for SGA during the spring 2025 semester to fulfill their obligations and remain in good standing with the Student Senate. And with that, Mr. President, I move to suspend.
They've already been suspended.
Oh, really? Okay. I move to place this resolution on 3rd reading and final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Scoble to place Senate Resolution 60.119 on 3rd reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor? Senator Davis.
I have a friendly amendment to line number 25. My full name is Samuel, not Sam, so it should be Senator Samuel Davis.
Thank you, Senator Davis. Is there any other debate on the floor? Senator Farag.
I just have a quick question. Ivory Davis is on the censuring, but he's also getting impeached.
That's the next piece.
Okay. But, okay.
It's intentional.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because
He said
on
he's
the
remarking
meeting,
for
yeah. Because on this piece, we say we're not moving.
Okay. Is there an amendment to strike Ivory Villegas from the piece? Senator Farag.
I move to strike Senator Ivory Davis from the piece.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded by Senator Villegas to amend Senate Resolution 60.119 by striking out Villegas on the piece. This motion, or this amendment is debatable, amendable, requires a majority vote. It was by Villegas. Senator.
So I'm actually going to rise in opposition to this amendment because under the rules of the Senate, we are allowed to censure them in the event the impeachment piece does not get past the next one. Because, for example, if we fail to impeach him on there, then he doesn't get censured either, which is why I think he should be left in there and make a censured and impeached.
Thank you. Is there any other debate on the floor? Senator Griffin.
President, just for continuity, I moved to amend the amendment, and in addition to striking Senator Ivory Villegas, include Senator Jocelyn Hernandez.
Sorry, I'm getting lost here. It's been moved and seconded by Senator Clark to amend the amendment to include Ivory Villegas and Senator Jocelyn Hernandez. This motion is debatable, unamendable because we are on the second degree and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor?
Point of order. So are we adding somebody or taking somebody off?
We're adding someone else to the
So that's the
take off the censure.
And we're voting to add someone onto that amendment, and then we'll vote for that amendment.
No. We're amending the amendment.
We're on the
So-
second degree of the amendment.
Does that make sense? we're voting on the amendment. So, and to clarify, is everyone, I guess, hearing no debate on the floor, we will not proceed to vote. Is everyone okay with adding Jocelyn Hernandez, who will also be impeached later in this meeting, I think in 60.121, to the amendment, to have her removed from the censure list as well? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay.
Nay.
Ayes have it. Amendments pass. You want? You know what was in it now. All right. All ayes, please stand.
Parker, aye.
All ayes. If you're in favor of the amendment.
If you're in favor of the second amendment.
No. You didn't explain. Wait.
Quiet in the chamber, please.
Senator Tippin, please call a point of order if you wish to address the chair.
Point of order.
Please stand.
Okay, I'm confused what we're voting on. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I should be voting yes, if I should be voting no. Can somebody clearly say what is going on?
I'm going to make this clarification for you. We are in the second degree amendment of the amendment. Right now, we are currently voting on the amendment to add Jocelyn Hernandez to the initial amendment of striking Ivory Villegas. So in this circumstance, if this motion were to pass, the current amendment on the floor would be to strike Ivory Villegas and Jocelyn Hernandez both. We will revisit the initial amendment if this passes. Does that make sense, or is there another point of parliamentary inquiry on this? Thank you.
Okay, ayes.
Ayes have it. Amendment passes. Jocelyn Hernandez will be removed from the censure list. Now voting on the Ivory Villegas.
Now she's actually on it.
The current amendment on the floor is to strike Ivory and Jocelyn. Okay.
Wait, you don't have to go all the way around once. Oh, so we're voting on the piece. Okay, that's what I thought.
We're currently voting on Ivory and Jocelyn together. This is one amendment.
Yes, but we just passed.
That doesn't mean that means we're adding our two Ivories. So the current motion is
We're on the way up. We went down to the second amendment, and that's Jocelyn.
no, that's what we didn't pass this.
Are we on the second amendment?
No, we're on the first current amendment. The current amendment on the floor is to strike Ivory Villegas and Jocelyn Hernandez from the censure list. Is there any debate? All those in favor?
The current amendment on the floor is to strike Ivory Villegas and Jocelyn Hernandez from the censure list. Is there any debate on the floor? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Ayes, please stand. Ayes, please stand. Nays, please stand. Nays have it. Amendment does not pass. Okay, now voting on the piece of the amendments as given. Okay.
We're just on the piece now.
Okay, which we are on 60.119. Okay, the motion on the floor is to pass 6119 to third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Please use your clicker. Is there any debate? Please use your clicker to vote in the poll. Senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on the agenda will be Senate Resolution 60.120. Senator Villegas.
I rise to present Senate Resolution 60.120 regarding the impeachment of Senator Ivory Villegas. May I first vote?
You may.
Hello again, guys. This piece, I'm just going to read the piece. Senator Villegas currently has 3 total unexcused absences from mandatory meetings and has failed to meet 11 of 11 points required for every senator of the 60th session of the Student Senate. Whereas the Committee of Rules and Administration is required to offer a resolution of impeachment for any member of the Student Senate who has failed to meet attendance requirements or has displayed an excessive neglect of duty. According to Rule 8, Section 5 of the Rules of the Senate, the Rules and Administration Committee shall have the power to recommend a resolution of impeachment for any senator absent from 4 meetings and for each successive excused absence thereafter. Senator Villegas has failed to meet attendance requirements and has displayed a neglect of duty from their position as a senator for the Whitaker College of Engineering. With that, I move to place this piece on third and final reading.
Been moved and seconded by Senator Joyce to place Senate Resolution 60.120 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor? Senator Scoble.
I rise to excuse our first years from the chamber.
First years, you may leave the chamber. Senator Almosa.
Question on Chris O'Golsby.
You may. Is there any debate on the floor? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please use your clickers to vote in the poll. Senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda will be Senate Resolution 60.121. Senator Villegas.
I rise to present Senate Resolution 60.121.
You're already at the podium.
Senator Hernandez currently has 3 total unexcused absences from mandatory meetings and has failed to meet 10 of 11 points required for every senator in the 60th session of the Student Senate. Senator Hernandez has failed to meet the attendance requirements and has displayed a neglect of duty from their position as a senator for the College of Whitaker College of Engineering. I move to place this resolution on third and final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Scoble to place Senate Resolution 60.121 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please use your clickers to vote in the poll. With 30 senators in favor, motion passes. Senator Bentley.
Mr. President, I move to remove Mr. Villegas and Mrs. Hernandez from the chamber.
It's been moved and seconded to remove Senators Villegas and Senators Hernandez from the chamber. This motion is debatable, unamendable, and requires a majority vote. All those, it's been seconded by Senator Haney. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Senators, please walk around. Moving forward. Next on our agenda is second reading, Senate Resolution 60.108. Senator Villegas.
I rise to present Senate Resolution 60.108. May I first vote?
You may.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? This piece is confirming the appointments made by Student Body President Abigail Vega, installing acting Deputy Chief of Staff Vivian Pfister, and then installing as well as the acting Directors of Public Relations and Digital Media, Lillian Skovanak and William Fry. With that, I move to place this piece on third reading and final passage.
It's been moved by Senator Webb to place Senate Resolution 60.108 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Please use your clicker to vote in the poll. Twenty-seven senators in favor, motion passes. Next on our agenda will be Senate Resolution 60.109. Senator Geiswhite.
Mr. President, I rise to reintroduce Senate Resolution 60.109 and I first podium.
You may.
Good evening, everyone. Senate Resolution 60.109 is stating the sentiments of the Student Senate regarding the addition of senator information, including email and office hours on the Tech Connect website. That's all this is doing. Mr. President, with that, I move to place Senate Resolution 60.109 on third reading and final passage.
Seconded by Senator Hees to place Senate Resolution 60.109 on third reading and final passage. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any amendments on the floor? Senator Geiswhite.
Mr. President, I move to amend Senate Resolution 60.109 by striking the word concurrent from the title to where it would read Senate Resolution 60.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Farag to amend Senate Senate Concurrent Resolution 60.109 by striking concurrent from the title and just leaving it as resolution. This motion is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it, motion passes. Now to vote on the amendment. This is debatable, amendable, and requires a majority vote. Is there any debate on the floor? Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. Senators in favor, motion passes. Up next on our agenda, Senate Resolution, my apologies. Up next on our agenda is the consent calendar. Senate Resolution 60.112 through 114. Please approach the podium. And 115. As a reminder, these motions must pass with 100% approval. Senator Stovall, you have the floor.
60.112 is basically a piece congratulating Aaron Delgado. He's a senator, if y'all don't know him. He was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma last spring. As of Friday, he's officially beat stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma, is in remission. He's a dear friend of mine. He's been through a lot, and watching him on the string has just been incredible, and can't wait to have him back. So, yeah.
Senator Stovall, the chair entertains a friendly amendment to add the entire Senate as co-sponsors for the piece.
Please.
Thank you. Senate Resolution 60.123.
Good evening again, guys. This is a congratulatory for student athlete JT Toppin for being named a top 10 candidate for the Carl Malone Award. This award is recognizing the top power forwards in Division I men's college basketball. When I submitted this piece, the 14.9 and the 8.4 was accurate, but after last night's game, not sure how accurate that is any longer. But it's just a piece congratulating him for his achievements.
Senate Resolution 60.124.
This is a piece that was spearheaded by one of our FYLA members, Wes Shaw. This is just regarding the passing of a former senator all the way back from the 23rd session of the Senate back in the 80s. He passed away this December, and so we just want to send our condolences on behalf of the Senate.
Thank you, Senator Joyce. Senate Resolution 60.125.
This piece is also to mourn the death of a fellow student, John Woodworth, on Thursday, February 6, 2025. The Texas Tech community has lost a beloved classmate and friend. Woodworth was a senior human development and family studies major in the College of Human Sciences, and Texas Tech flag at the Memorial Circle will be lowered in his memory at a later date to commemorate his life and legacy. With that, Mr. President, I move to place Senate Resolution 60.122 to 125 on third reading and final passage.
It's been moved and seconded by Senator Baker to send Senate Resolution 60.122 through 60.125 to third reading and final passage. As a reminder, these resolutions must pass with 100% approval. If there is any reason why we should vote separately, please state so now. Hearing none, we will now proceed to vote. As a reminder, 100% approval is required. Consent calendar is passed as given. Up next on our agenda will be our announcements. Please welcome Student Body President Abigail Vega to swear in the new Graduate Vice President Michael Starnes.
Michael, if you'll repeat after me, I do hereby solemnly swear.
Can I hold my hand?
Yes, sorry. I do hereby solemnly swear.
I do hereby solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute the duties of my office.
that I will faithfully execute the duties of my office
And will to the best of my ability.
and will to the best of my ability
Preserve, protect, and defend.
preserve, protect, and defend
The Constitution of the Student Government Association.
the Constitution of the Student Government Association
Of Texas Tech University.
of Texas Tech University
And regulations which may be made in pursuance thereof.
and regulations which may be made in pursuance thereof.
Congratulations.
Thank Thank you, Vice President Starnes. Any other announcements to the chamber? Senator Villegas.
Hi guys, Taper's not here, or she'd be making us often, but the PR committee, we are launching a competition between the senators for who can make the best design for merch, because there's going to be merch soon as we get designs. The best design will win a free piece of merch and SGA stuff. So yeah, just want to let you guys know about the competition. You can submit those to me, Freddie, or Taylor through email.
Senator Clark.
Mr. President, I want to let the Senate know that we do have quite a few vacancies in the Senate, and there is an interest form that I will be sending out within the coming week, but there still is an active one that was sent out last semester. If you just search me in the bar in the 60th student session, it should pop up at one of those emails. And so if you know anybody who is interested, please let them know. For any of our given colleges, an updated list will be sent out of our vacant seats with an interest form link. So please have people fill those out.
Student Body President Abigail Vega.
If you guys will please just take a few moments to fill this out right now, preferably. Partnering with Christian's comment about merchandise, we will be kind of polling just to see if you'd be interested in t-shirts or sweatshirts, things like that, as well as some other information in preparation for SGA Gala. So please fill that out now before you leave, preferably. And if the link isn't working for whatever reason, I'll be emailing following this meeting to send that out to you guys as well. Thank you all so much.
Mrs. Rocky.
Hey, hi guys. Thank you all for being here and working so diligently. We really appreciate it. We're going to start Wednesday tabling back up. So if you need your outreach points or service points, we can count them as either for you all. Those will be open. So come talk to me if you need a Wednesday tabling. We'll have more details sent on that next week. As well, if you wrote a piece recently, I'm a little bit behind on getting some pieces out, more so like congratulatory. I will be sending you an email if I put something in your box for you to deliver. So just keep your head out for that. Thank you all.
Any other announcements? First years. We'll not proceed to adjourn. Is there a motion to adjourn? It's been moved. It's been moved and seconded by Senator Farag to adjourn. This motion is undebatable and amendable and requires a majority vote. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned.
Who was the second invite?
Farag.